Hey guys, a lot of you follow me for my Fantasy Super Rugby content, so today I thought I'd share with you another Fantasy Super Rugby competition I've been playing. It's hosted on a platform called Sportsdeck, which you might not have heard of before. It's a bit late in the season for anyone to get involved with it now, but nonetheless I thought it might be kind of interesting to show it to you guys, just in case you haven't played Fantasy Super Rugby before outside of the official competition. It's much more reflective of what a traditional fantasy sports game looks like. So let's jump into it and have a look. And this is what the standard layout of a team looks like. At the start of the season, you get to pick all your players. Just like the official competition, you have a fixed budget. You'll also notice here on the side there is in fact a bench. One of the nice things about a bench is that if one of your players on the starting pitch doesn't actually start on game day, the player you have on the bench will swap in if they play at all. And it's actually necessary to have this bench as well, because in this game you have a very limited number of trades. You get 26 for the season. You can make a maximum of 2 per round. Because there's only 26 trades in a year, if you use 2 every single week, you will run out about now, like I have done. If you look up here, you can see in brackets it says 0. I have none left. You get 3 little boosts you can use through the year as well, so that increases your maximum trades for a week from 2 to 3, but it does come out of your total trades. So yeah, trades in this game are very, very precious. You can't afford just to use them willy-nilly. It's probably my biggest complaint about this game, is that it feels like there's too few, because it's really hard to keep a fully starting 23 of players on the field. And yeah, it's just kind of hard to keep your head above water, but it's the same for everybody. And in some respects, the increased challenge does make it a bit more interesting. Another thing you might have noticed as well, these players highlighted in yellow and blue, you can choose a captain and you can also choose a vice captain as well. Only one of them will score the points. If your vice captain doesn't start for some reason, it just falls back to your vice captain, which is something very, very nice to have. You also get this little flex slot down here at the bottom as well, where you can put a player from any position into the slot. So that makes for some interesting strategies. You can just go ahead and have an extra back or bring in another 10 or something like that. It really opens up for quite a few strategies. You can do some interesting things with the captains in the flex slot as well, because this flex slot, it only actually scores points if the player in it scores more points than whoever you have in the starting position. So you can kind of take a gamble and put a boom bust player down there, make them captain. They don't score a lot of points, then it'll fall back to your vice captain if they scored points. And yeah, you can do some interesting sort of tricks like that. Another thing you might be noticing as well is next to the players' prices, they've got these little arrows, like a green upwards arrow or a red downwards arrow. And that's because this competition has dynamic player pricing. That means player prices will increase every week if they play, depending on their performances. So this introduces another layer to the game where your budget cap, it actually goes up and down depending on how your players perform, and it creates a bit of incentive where you want to go for sort of players who are undervalued or lesser known, because potentially if they do decently, their value goes up a lot. And then when it comes time to trade them out and bring someone out in, you have extra budget to play with. And then you can buy better players, more expensive players in other slots. So that really rewards having a breadth of knowledge about players and the wider squad for all the different teams. Like when this match actually started, I picked up Caleb Tangitau, I picked up Leroy Carter before the season started, and they were dirt cheap. I think Leroy Carter was about 60,000. If you look now, he's worth 217,000. So that's just a huge gain. And yeah, if you're really plugged into who's who and what's what, you can really play that forward into getting benefits further down the line. When it comes to the scoring in this game, it is actually a little bit different from the official competition. One thing is that the type 5, the props and the locks, they do get a little bit extra points for tries they score and tackles they make, which in my opinion is really nice, because prop and lock, they're really unexciting in the official competition. Really hard for players there to get decent scores. Another thing you might notice as well is that goal kickers get extra points, 4 for a conversion, 6 for a penalty goal. That's twice as much as the official competition. Makes goal kickers a lot more valuable. There's also more points as well for meters gained. So those fullbacks that kick goals, they can be really quite valuable in this game. The only other thing that's majorly different is that there's no points for line break assists in this game, and there's also harsher penalties, or rather higher minus points for penalties and for cards. And another thing I really like about this competition is the stats that it provides you. It's something that the official competition really struggled with. The fact that they didn't show average points for so long in that competition was pretty criminal, to be honest. Like, it's the most important stat. But here you can see we don't just have the average points, the total points. You also have a 3-round average and a 5-round average. So you can see and look at which players are doing well recently, which players are in form. You also have points per minute, which is something I really like, because it can help you find those sort of gems, like players that coming off the bench or don't often get starts or don't play full matches. They can be underrepresented by the averages column, but you can look at points per minute and find those guys who are performing off the bench, and when they finally get starts, they might actually go well. So dollars per point is also kind of handy as well, because in this game you are much more budget constrained. The cap is not high. You're also picking more players because you need to fill up your bench as well. So unlike the official competition with its high cap, where you can pretty much buy whoever you want every single week, you can get all the best players. In this competition, you really can't do that. You actually have to make some choices. You have to make some compromises, do a trade-off, pick a good player here, pick a good player there, and then decide who are the best options to fill in the other positions that you can actually afford. And a stat like this can help you find some bargains as well. There is also this really nice Gameday tab. It shows you the scores for the round, but you can click this button, see match stats, and then it'll actually show you the points that everybody in the game is scoring, even players that you don't have in your team. You can go to this all stats tab as well, and it'll actually show you how the points are being allocated to every player as well. You know, you can see who's getting the most points for tackle busts, line breaks, the try assists, all that good stuff. This is something that I think would be really good in the official competition, but it's just got nothing comparable. And this is the rankings tab, where you can come and see how other players are going. You can click on them and see who they're picking in their teams. I'm actually doing pretty decently in this competition. I am in rank 19 on the overall leaderboard. Just moved up into the top 20. I was actually ranked in the top 10 earlier in the season, but yeah, the week where we had the first week with 3 buys really tripped me up, and I was left kind of stranded, and that really plummeted me down the rankings. But I've clawed my way back up, and yeah, because you're so limited on trades in this competition, you really have to think ahead. You have to look at the matchups coming up and make sure that you're not going to be running into problems with buys. But also there's just not a huge amount of people playing this game this year. There's less than 1,000, I think, participating. It seems like it's closer to maybe 700 or 800. So not a huge achievement to be highly rated in this. It is much more difficult in the official competition, where you have way more people playing. And lastly, There are prizes for this game as well. They're not huge, $250 cash for first place, $150 and $100 for second and third respectively. So pretty hard to get those prizes and not hugely rewarding, but you know, at the end of the day, it's all about playing for the fun of it. So cannot complain about that. Anyway, guys, hope you found this kind of interesting. Let me know in the comments if you were playing in this competition or if you've played in any other type of Fantasy Super Rugby competition outside of the official one this year. I am preparing a feedback video about the official fantasy competition. I think there's so many ways in which we could improve it. Many of them would reflect the sort of things we have in this Sportsdeck Super Rugby competition. So let me know what you guys want to see change in the official competition as well. There's so much room for improvement, and I really hope they stick with it going forward into next year and the years beyond. Otherwise, have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.